what I do.
It has never been about strength. And when I say that, I mean it's always been about fear. Because you got a group of people who represent 7% of the population, the global population. That's what we would consider white Europeans. They got 7% of the population. That's nothing. And they've spent centuries consolidating power, hoarding resources, and suppressing others, not because of superiority, but because of the deep-rooted insecurity that they have. What do I mean? Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the late great teacher, teaches us that white supremacy is based on survival. The colonization was a survival thing. It was a desperate attempt to steal land and wealth from others. Europe is a crappy place to be. Bad weather. Right? What was Jim Crow? Jim Crow and segregation was an attempt to keep black folk and white folk separate, because if we got together, who disappears? Huh? The white folks. So segregation was for that. We can't have our white women and these black men getting together. We want to keep you white men away from these black women, because all your money and resources is going to go to raising your mulatto children. And on top of that, we want to keep Jim Crow in place, to keep these laws in place, to keep these folks systematically down, because we can't have them rise, because no matter what we do, they always seem to rise. And so when you see the rise of these white nationalist movements, that is truly a desperate attempt to hold on to power in a world that's leaving them behind. That's what you see happening. But if we look at it, this system is failing because the world is getting smaller and people are getting smarter and resources are being more spread out. Shout out to Kay Woolard. I'm going to read all the super chats when I finish. I just want to get through this. See, here's the thing, though. The more white supremacy overreaches, the more it isolates itself from the rest of the world. Think about that. It begins to alienate the very people who could temper its downfall. Black Americans have been the only ones to force keeping this country from imploding under its own oppression. And yet white America refuses to listen, as they've done this time. It refuses to see that our liberation is tied to its survival. You understand? Some of y'all are getting it, some of y'all aren't. See, if we let these folk go too far, you know what it's like? It's like a parent. Let's say the quiet part here. For centuries, Black Americans have been the moral parents of a society that behaves like an ungrounded, reckless child. A child who is brilliant, but irresponsible. A white child is powerful, but immature. Relentlessly curious, but completely devoid of wisdom. This child is white America and has always pursued knowledge and innovation and domination without any concern for the ethical consequences of its actions. It has built beautiful, wonderful civilizations. It has amassed wealth, it's conquered lands, and it's manipulated entire economies, all without ever asking the most basic question, should we? Now, who has always been the people who've had to step in and provide that missing moral compass? Black Americans. You're going too far. Calm down. Look at the history of the Western world and you'll see a same pattern repeat itself. We have scientific progress at the expense of human lives. From the Tuskegee syphilis experiment in 1932 to 1972, where Black men were deliberately left untreated to study the effects of syphilis, to force sterilization of Black and indigenous women under ethnic eugenic programs. See, America's never hesitated to sacrifice morality for power. And the only reason they don't do that anymore is because of what it did to us. We forced them to see that was wrong. What about when we talk about expansion fueled by oppression? We talk about the transatlantic slave trade to modern mass incarceration. You have black bodies have always been used as currency to build white wealth. And they had to reform that because we're like, nah, y'all can't keep doing that either. Whether we're talking about mass incarceration or whether we're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, this has to end. Can't keep doing these people like this. What about the reckless pursuit of dominance? And whether it's through colonization or war or corporate greed, white America has proven time and time again that it will burn the world to the ground if it means holding on to power. Shout out to Jamal Smith. And every time, black Americans have been the ones forcing this country to stop, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, at what cost? See, without moral leadership of black Americans, this country would have consumed itself in its own corruption long ago. We were the ones who made America confront the horrors of slavery and demand about abolition. We are the ones with our marching feet and the cameras that were put on us of these folk getting beat and hurt. We made them end segregation. And we pushed it closer to the ideals it claimed to stand for, from our speeches to our songs, to our valor, to our patriotism. We made it change. We made them see our humanity and we made them feel guilty. That's the truth. Same thing goes for police brutality. We made them think about it. And whether you believe it or not, I'd like for you all to go travel around and ask some questions of some locals about how they get treated in Colombia by the police. Shout out to Alonzo Dunn. How they get treated in Nigeria by the police. How you get treated in Mexico by the police. Go to Beijing. Go to one of these Asian countries. Go to China and see how the police treat you. I know y'all don't want to hear this. Okay? I know you don't want to hear this because, fight the power and everything. But as far as police go, ours are pretty tame. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I know. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying that. But go to Jamaica. Go deal with the police officers in Jamaica. Go on down there and see if you don't end up in the side of a bush somewhere. I'm just saying. I'm telling you from what I know. You want to talk about corruption and brutality? America is on the low end. It's not perfect, but my man say, try Haiti. Go to Haiti and deal with the Haitian police. But nevertheless, my whole point is at every turning point, foundational black Americans have been the one demanding humanity and accountability and justice, while the rest of the country threw tantrums and resisted and doubled down on its cruelty. You got Latinos wanting to join in with the white man, trying to have their designation be reclaimed as redesignated as white. So they can join in on the brutality, oppression, and dehumanization. Isn't that something? But as black folks saying, we're gonna make you live up to your ideals. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Look, white America has always been like a reckless teenager, breaking things, hoarding resources, destroying lives. And while black Americans, we played, we played the exhausted, overworked parent, trying to teach them some doggone discipline. But here's the real question. Again, what happens when that moral parent decides to stop parenting? What happens when black Americans finally step back and say, if you want to self-destruct, go on ahead. If you want to let white supremacy consume you, be a guest. Go ahead. If you want the world to see you sending all these folk home, you want to send 4 million people back home and watch these folks' economies crash, and then more of them going to come up here and shout up to Calvin MCA. You know what's going to happen if you send 8 million Mexicans back to Mexico at the same time? What's going to happen? What's going to happen if you send them 2 million Guatemalans back to Guatemala? What is going to happen to those countries? They can barely support themselves now. It's basically running on an underground narco economy. And then the idea of rounding that many people up and putting them in cages and shipping them home. And what is that going to do to the nation? You're going to have a whole, and look, man, we have a right to enforce our laws. I'm 100% with it. I just want you to think, black people, where is this going to go? We've been in this 3 weeks. And you got people who are afraid. There's division. And we see brutality every day. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. D's black man talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something and you earn something. And let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Holly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you've been served, gotta know this. Now, black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Floby and cut your own damn hair from now on.